and it takes us a couple of days to get up it. Like we have to camp along the way, but it's like a multi-tiered waterfall, and it has these ledges, and there's trees growing on the ledges, so we have campfires on the ledges and we sleep. And we lead these pitches of ice, and then we haul our gear up behind us. And it's really quite fun climb. And we swing leads. There's 3 of us, me and Carl and Chuck. And you lead a pitch, and then the next guy leads a pitch, and then the third guy, and it gets to be Chuck's turn. And his pitch is this. It's a 90-foot tall piece of ice, and for 60 feet, it's deep. It's a free-hanging icicle. That's hanging off this overhang. And you know how icicles are. They're big around at the top and they're small at the bottom. So when you're climbing on an icicle, it's overhung, because your feet are down like this and you're out like that. So it's very difficult climbing. And then at the bottom, it's on like a pedestal. Like it's hanging off this, it's on a little pedestal like this. And right where it comes off the overhang, it's cracked. And because its weight is so enormous, at the bottom, it's deformed into like these 3 little fingers that are bent like that, and none of the fingers are bigger around than your body. And it's Chuck's turn. And Chuck pulls up and looks at it, and he's like, I think I'd rather turn the pencil to the right, which means he doesn't want to climb it. He wants to go around it. He doesn't want to go up it. And then Carl comes up, and Carl's like, oh, it's wonderful, it's wonderful. And I was glad it wasn't my turn to lead, because it looked horrible. Because it was 60 feet of broken ice, and so Chuck gets browbeat to get on it. So Chuck gets on it.
In other words, they questioned his masculinity until he said, "Fuck all of you! I'll show you how much of a man I am."
So he put an ice screw right on that pedestal at the bottom, and he gets up on the ice. He gets up a little higher. He goes, this thing's moaning and groaning like a glacier. It's making all kinds of noises. And he gets a little higher, and his feet slip out from under him. He's above the 3 little mini pillars at the base. So he's on where the ice is thicker. But it's really steep and his feet come out. And Chuck was kind of a short guy, stocky, big fat like Havana cigar fingers, and he had red hair and kind of blonde eyebrows and blonde beard and kind of a short little pudgy nose, and he was always chewing Copenhagen. And he gets up there and he was always a little bit out of control. He was super strong, but he was kind of pudgy, and he didn't really seem strong. And his feet slipped off. He was always a little out of control. His feet slip out and he's dangling like on his tools like this on this pillar. And he goes, this thing's talking to me. And I'm like, yeah, Chuck, what's it saying? He says, it's telling me to get down. And by then, I could hear it making noises. And it was going chick, 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 chick. Like, it sounded like it was clicking kind of. And so Chuck somehow down climbs it and gets down to the base, and Carl lowers him off the pedestal, and now we're all talking about who's going to get on it. Like Carl's like, well, I'm not getting on it if it's making noises. Well, I say, I'll get on it when it stops making noises. And Chuck says, I'm not getting back on it. And it's about that time I see a little chunk of ice come flicking off of the thing. I say, it's moving! And then the whole thing came collapsing down, like 3 minutes after Chuck had gotten off of it. Just like, he could have been on it just a minute ago, and it would have killed him.